Good afternoon or evening if you're watching on the East Coast. Welcome to the first one in a long time. It's Meach'S Musings here on the Jeff Meacham Network. If you're watching on my own personal Facebook, we thank you for that because I don't do this shit on my Facebook very often. So we thank you for tuning in with us. Joining me to my left is a gentleman who, if you're a fan of Back to the Future and the documentaries that surround that crazy trilogy that we all love so much, you know who this man is. If you don't know, you should know because he is arguably one of the, if not the best Delorean renter in the greater West Coast. Adam Kontras, my friend, I've been getting to know you the last couple of weeks. I happened upon your face during Back in Time. I'll show that momentarily if I can get away with it, that is. And here we are. I mean, you've got a brand new documentary out this week. Am I correct on that?
It's rare someone talks more than me, so I'm just kind of soaking it in. Because you just go, dog. You just knock it out. It came out November 9th.
Yeah. So yeah.
It came out November 9th, which was the 25th anniversary of meeting Michael. So it worked out perfectly, right?
Yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff that we parallel, and I'll get into that, honestly later as we go along here. But you grew up in a area that didn't have a whole lot of going on as far as sports because God bless the Columbus, Cleveland area. I mean, goodness sakes, you guys are just
go Bucks.
Yeah, exactly. Buckeyes. That's it. My dad is from Ohio. We are Buckeyes through and through. The Bengals are what they are. The Cavaliers are just now like starting to really. I mean, they had their shit together, then they lost it again. And then the freaking Browns and the damn Indians. Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned in meeting Michael, there are the Buckeyes and only the Buckeyes, and we have an ancillary. We're slightly curious about the Browns. Good for you guys. You hope they do well. I've always you root for them like the younger brother, but we always felt our Buckeyes could beat the Browns, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
like that's how good the Buckeyes are. So there were no other sports in when I grew up.
Well, because you moved out here in 2000. Am I correct in that? Remembering that correctly? Okay, so the Blue Jackets weren't even a thing yet when you came to LA, and you look back and you go, "Motherfucker, really? Now?" So
it was funny because I was at a radio station that had it was CD 101 at the time, now CD 92.9. But they had an agreement with the Blue Jackets, and we were kind of starting to pump that up, and I was going to be part of the team that covered the Blue Jackets. That was all happening at the end of '99, and then I got fired. And then it was like, oh, Jesus. And then I just left just to try to make like a positive out of a negative. I didn't know what I was doing. And then, of course, Blue Jackets took off and everything went from there.
Yeah, they've not always, they've never been like the team of the NHL, but they're always, they're always chilling there, kind of, making noise, and that's good for them. God, it took the Kings 45 years to do anything, so shit.
Well, listen, it's 20 years later, and people still love them. Clearly, it worked. I mean, if you remember when the whole arena stuff was happening back then, and what was there going to be an arena, and that was when I was in talk radio. That's all we talked about. Right. Nobody thought that anybody could support a sports franchise that wasn't the Buckeyes. So they did. Way to go, Columbus. You clearly were able to. So I think
it's very much like San Diego. Like, they don't want anything except the Padres. Like, they freaking drove the Chargers out of that damn city. It's ridiculous how obnoxious that is, that cities don't seem to want to get behind, because major sports franchises, they bring in the dough. They just do. And, I guess hockey is such a redheaded stepchild in this country. Anyway, if you're not in the New York metropolitan area or, Chicago or Detroit, you're kind of like a little bitch if you're an NHL team.
I need everybody to know that he had mentioned to me that he really wants to talk about fastest DeLorean. So I said, I'm going to go get a drink because, I cannot speak of that movie without needing whiskey in my hand. So,
and we'll get there. Now I saw the bottle. Was that Apple Jack Daniels? I've not tried that yet.
Oh no, this is straight whiskey. Just. I mean, it's not even the good whiskey. I mean, it's literally the bottle looks like Jack Daniels, but.
Yeah, I swear I saw the Apple. I'm like, my best friend, I've been wanting to try the Apple Jack for so long, and it's funny. They announced they were going to release that, and it was going to be a week after I was there with her. I'm like, really? assholes. So I still haven't tried it. It was September last year they released it. So anyway.
I don't know.
But yeah, we will talk about that Delorean because I know that, again, that's where I really got into the meat and potatoes of your story. But I did want to talk about before we get into anything else, because I was for the longest time, I thought, the only Back to the Future fan in my circle because, like Back to the Future is such a great story. And it's the guy in the movie, I forget who said it on Back in Time, but it is the perfect movie. It is, there's nothing wrong with that movie. Like everything on that movie fires on cylinder, all points. But for the longest time, like nobody I knew liked it because it was too
What are you hanging out with?
I know. Well, I hang in wrestling circles, so it's if you're not a WWE or at the time WCW ECW fan, it's like, well, I know what you're talking about. So the guy I worked for the longest time, no offense, boss man, if it's not wrestling, the whole sports thing, he goes, he has no idea what he's talking about.
When talking about Back to the Future, and I almost have to begrudgingly say this because I'm now friends with some of the people in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best almost every single person ever did. It's weird. Yeah. Everybody has peaks in their career, right? You don't want. It's not like they suddenly became a bad actor. But it's peak writer, director, actor across the board to the point of even, and I hate saying it, Don as Mayor Goldie Wilson. I'll watch his scene and every time I'm like, God damn it, he did that perfect. I mean, the earnestness that he does that role is so good that you're excited for him, and it's such a tiny role, and any other actor would have done okay, but that was his role, and he made it his, and he knocked it out of the park. And are we going to get into Tom Wilson and Crispin Glover? And, I mean, all of them.
Crispin and his story with the movie, just good grief. I mean, Crispin's tales with this franchise is legendary.
I love, first of all, real quick, I love Crispin Glover and sided with him on almost everything he said. And I know that puts me in a bad corner because him and Bob Gale have this beef going on. However, dude, I like crazy people.
Yes.
That are kind of crazy, but you can grab them. And God bless Zemeckis for finding it and directing this amazing performance out of a kid.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like Crispin Glover in a movie like that. I've never seen. Tom Wilson is amazing. Obviously, Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd are. They are with, but
they are right. Yeah.
The rest of the cast, and then of course the script is so fast and perfect, and just it's amazing.
That's the thing. Leah Thompson mentions in the documentary about the fact that Zemeckis even said it that they study that screenplay in screenwriting class now. It's like that's what it is. I mean,
you want to hear an awful Leah Thompson story?
Oh, wow, about Leah. I like Leah a lot.
Oh, no, it makes me look awful.
Oh, okay.
She's gorgeous and lovely, But so I got the opportunity to drive her into Dodger Stadium in 2015. First of all, I get to drive my car in Dodger Stadium, which is ridiculous. I'm driving around. Clayton Kershaw comes up to me. He comes into the car, and I'm asking for directions from him, not knowing who he was because I wasn't a big baseball fan. So embarrassing. But we go through the whole thing, and Leah's so sweet. And I think the thing that you take away from Leah is it seems like she's in her 20s. Like, she's got this effervescent spirit.
In her 20s.
She's just very happy and happier than I've ever been, I think. It's just bizarre. And she said, "Would you like me to sign your car?" And I looked her dead in the eye. And I was like, "No, you weren't in the car. I got Doc and Marty, but I was like, you can sign my hope chest." I didn't know what to say to her. And I totally was like, "Don't touch my fucking car with a pen. I don't want." I felt so fucking bad. I felt so bad, dude. Oh my God, it's the worst. I turned her down, and I think about it often. It's not good. But,
Leah, if you're watching, I will buy a freaking Matchbox, freaking DeLorean. Find the shit out of that, and I will send it to Adam in North Hollywood. I promise I will. Oh my God, that is fantastic. Oh my God, that's great. So again, I first came upon you in Back in Time. I'm gonna see if I can do this without freaking whoever the filmmakers is getting chapped at my ass. We'll see if that works.
Thank you, Jay Aaron.
Well, that's not what I want to do at all. Wait a minute. Let me hang on. Let me.
Oh, you're going to show my actual scene. Ooh, I'm over here now.
He's moving. So yeah, this is where I first saw you. They went from the gentleman who restored the DeLorean, the original DeLorean. God bless him for that, by the way. Holy crap! Mm-hmm. And then we go to this is your backyard. I love this. You score an eagle on Dawn. You're just loving every bit of it. Like this is your jam. And of course, it's buffering because it had fly television.
Well, but what's funny about this is if you watch the real episode of the Hats and Mini Golf, Don then gets his own eagle. So,
of course,
back to back, and so we're both freaking losing our mind about it.
And of course, because live TV is a bitch to me. I just can't even. This is the gods of the TV not letting me show this shit. That's fine. Anyway, but yeah, that's where I first saw you, and I just was so fascinated with your story that I went to rentthedelorian.com, and I immediately went, okay, I need to find out more about this guy. And it turns out you're literally up the road. Like, you're not even a half hour from me. I'm like, oh, the DeLorean's a half hour away.
Wait, where do you live?
I live in Santa Clarita, dude.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is really close.
That's what I'm saying. I'm literally hop on the red line. I'm there. So it's right
red line. Wait, you don't own a freaking vehicle?
I don't.
Okay, dude. Now it's my turn. I get to be the interview. What the fuck happened? Why don't you have a car?
Well, since you're not a regular here on the network, it's a very long, drawn out series of accidents in my life that just
shit.
Like I don't do the wheels. I don't like I'll sit in your car and do the whole look the flux capacitor. Look, it works.
So the scene when I'm drag racing my DeLorean and I take my helmet off and I look like I'm gonna die. That's you if you're driving to the store.
That's me every time I'm in a driver's seat of a car. Yes, just very much like, and the fact that you took that beautiful DeLorean down a drag strip that many times, I'm going, okay, he's a nice guy. Don't yell at him for that.
Dude, I didn't want to do it. That was not. I didn't. Just, you know the story, obviously.
I do because and like I said, we'll get into all that because the first part of the documentary ends the way it ends, and I'm just like, oh my god, because I immediately felt bad about asking about renting anything because like. Some bitch was on fire. Like, how can I even ask him to rent the damn thing when it's been on fire? Like, I feel like a shit. So,
well, you did what you had an experience that
I did.
I've gotten often.
Yeah.
So, for the people at home, real quick, we I don't know if he added me or whatever. He's talking to me through Rent the DeLorean, and we connect on Facebook, and then he says I'm going to watch Fastest DeLorean, and I get the first text from him that says, I'm watching Fastest DeLorean. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah. And then a few minutes later, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on? And it's, you see space, 20 minutes pass, space, hour passes. Holy shit, your car's on fire. Space, I'm starting part 2. And it's like a live stream of the emotions. And it's so funny to watch it because then I think I woke up the next morning and I was scrolling through them just giggling because it's a hell of a the Fastest DeLorean 1 and 2 is the craziest ride ever.
Yeah, like honestly, as crazy as Marty's arc, as Doc's arc, as Crispin's arc is in those movies, your arc with your brother throughout this whole process, I just my brother and I get up at each other all the time. It's just like I just wanted to like just reach through and just go.
You know what helps, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know if I bring it across on the movie well enough, but I was documenting the Fastest DeLorean outside of the movie,
right,
in real time. So it looks in hindsight like the black cat that was in my car was, that was an omen for how things were going to go for the whole movie. Well, no. That's literally what happened. And in my mind, when I made the tiny movie of shipping the car to Ohio, that's what the black cat was, right? So I was doing it all in real time. So at no point had I have any idea shit was going to go wrong with my brother. I assumed there was more than enough drama putting a new engine in a DeLorean and drag racing it. I didn't want any of that shit to happen. So I think that's why it works so well, is because people watching the movie for the first time, they kind of get into it. And even us telling you this right now, if you start the movie, you'll forget everything we're saying because the first half hour of that movie you kind of get this rhythm of this
beautiful.
car.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, oh, this is just about when the texts from Kenny come in April, even in screenings I've done years later, it hits me like a 2x4.
Right?
I'm not ready for it at all. I'm like, oh my God, I never saw that coming. It's a crazy story.
Yeah, it's so crazy. What I really thought about when I was watching the whole documentary of the DeLorean is, your car and your life in general went through a good amount of shit. It's very similar to the A car. Because the A car just kind of got abandoned there on the freaking lot there at Universal and just forgotten about, and people were ripping it apart and just stealing shit off it and taking pictures. And Bob Gale's like having an aneurysm over it, and I'm sitting here watching you literally have a damn near heart attack aneurysm over this whole process. I'm like,
well, but the thing about the A car is that A car wasn't paying anybody's mortgage.
Exactly, that's the thing. This is your business that not only is somebody directly screwing with your business
or my life
or your life,
because
of your health thing, because of what's happening, but it's blood. It's like, it's funny. We at wrestling talk about wrestling being drama in its purest form. I'm like, no, motherfuckers, this movie right here is drama in its purest form, and it's real. It's not
interesting. After that, I had a bunch of car guys contact me, and they said, we're used to watching all these bullshit reality shows where they talk about, we've got to have this done by this date, and there's all these bizarre. That was Doc. Did you hear that? Marty. We have to have it done by this date. There's all this fake bullshit kind of a drama that they try to instill and produce in these reality shows, and it never feels, because in the back of your head you're like, why do you have to have it done by Monday? What would happen if it was done on Tuesday? Like, it would still. So, but this was a case where I think you understood I made a living out of this because I got a rental, basically, time machine to keep my business going. I think you understood I had little babies because I showed those little babies. Yes. So it's the trauma of it. And then, of course, in part 2, it takes a whole different level where my wife says, you're selling that car. We're not doing this anymore. Right. And it's so heavy. Good story though. Good story.
Great story. And we all of us that have significant others or used to have significant others, we know how it goes when the woman's like, all right, that's enough of this shit. And you're like,
and listen, I would have sold the car. I asked of her at that exact moment, because it was the day, I'm like, please just give me a couple days. I'm not going to drive anything that's not safe, but you got to at least let me see what happened. Like, let me work this all out, strip the whole car down, and see where we're at. Yeah. And in that process, I realized that the mistakes that were made were really stupid.
Yeah.
And unbelievably easy to fix. And
what really, and like you said, you watched me go through this on Facebook chat. Like, you watched me go through this whole thing. The realization of what was the actual problem initially with the DeLorean, you're just like, motherfucker, are you kidding me? We've been doing this for how long? Like,
it was a stupid shortcut. It's rough. And it's fun. The frustrating part about part 2 for me is there's a great Fastest DeLorean part 2 that will never happen, which was, I did have a phone call with him in June of 2019.
Yeah.
And he was coming out, and my envisioning of it was we would sit at that bar and we would talk it out. He would admit what he admitted to me on the phone, and we would have worked on the car part. Remember the
car's right there, man.
Transmission problem we had at the end of part 2? Mm-hmm. That would have been Kenny.
Yeah.
We would have hugged it out. He would have moved on. Life would have been cool. And all it took was him going, I was in over my head. I fucked up, dog. And that would have been the end of it. Like, we all know what happened. The fact that he couldn't say it means now, because there will not be a part 3, now that story is just going to be in the ether for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating for me as a brother.
Yeah.
Like, trying to advise him what would be the best thing for him.
Yeah.
It's not going to follow me.
No.
Who gives a fuck? I'm the idiot who paid for it. Right. Like, I got other shit I'm doing. Meeting Michael. Yeah. But yeah, for him,
I promise.
Right. No, it's fine. But for him, he's a mechanic. And mechanics are going to find that story, and it breaks my heart, but God damn it, I did everything I possibly could fucking do to help him make that story better, and it didn't work out. So, say love me.
And I just love how our conversation started with me inquiring about a thing next year. You're like, dude, it's too fucking early. You got to be kidding me with this shit, right? And then we both are watching Back to the Future things with our kids. You're watching Part 3 with yours. I'm watching animated series of mine, and I'm just like, the world is so cosmic and weird. It's just bizarre.
Well, it's funny. The thing about my kids watching Back to the Future is, so I got the car in 2014. My daughter was 18 months old, and my son, son was 6 months old. Right. Shit, so for their entire life, they have believed they made a movie with our car.
That's great.
Right? They have no idea, right? And like we told our kids the truth about Santa Claus, everything. Right. However, when I have a Marty package where we drive to Marty McFly's house and like people pay me to do that, you know, my daughter would be like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to Marty McFly's house. She's like, "Oh, say hi." Like they believed all of that shit. And then to make it even worse, right? Don comes in, just how's it going? And they're like, "Oh shit, there's Don. That's guys may go to it." Like, so their brains have never truly understood it. Yeah. Now they're almost 7 and 8. Now I said we got to watch this again because you're old enough now to realize what's going on. And this was the first time I think maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago where they watched it.
Whatever it was,
The first time they realized, oh, he went into the past and he can fuck up his future, and they loved it. They finally got Back to the Future. Nice. And I could tell them the truth and go, listen, my car's a replica of what this is. I've met all these people, but they're not real. They're actors, and they're starting to understand it now. But, of course, then what was the first thing they wanted to do? They wanted to go jump in the time machine and hit all the buttons like everybody does.
So that was Thursday last week. So less than a week ago, and this has kind of evolved and just happened organically.
Yeah, right. No shit.
I love it. So Michael Jordan, goodness sakes. People, our kids' generation, it's all about Kobe and it's all about LeBron. It's all about those guys. But you and I, man, it was either Showtime if you were out here, or where you were, it was the Bulls. Because Cleveland had what they had, and it wasn't much. So
it's a little different than it is now. There seems to be a lot more, I guess, tribalism for who you like. As if you can't like Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. It's bizarre. But when I was a kid, I loved Magic Johnson.
Right.
I love Michael Jordan more. But at no point was I was like, man, fuck Magic Johnson. No, Magic Johnson's awesome. Michael Jordan's awesome. I don't understand this bizarre, you can't like one without hating the other. It's just like, I thought we all liked basketball. This is very strange to me.
Well, I love, and you'll appreciate this being a California guy for 20 years now. I have people giving me shit for being an Angels fan and a Dodgers fan. They're in different leagues, folks.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that part.
now, if you're going to tell me you're a Kings fan and a Ducks fan, you're out of your friggin' mind.
Right.
Division. So you do not exist if you're stop. But Angels and Dodgers, like that's okay. It's okay.
It's weird because in order to start marketing for Meeting Michael, which I'm doing an awful job with, because
that's what I'm here, brother.
Well, but dude, I'm the artist, man. Like once I get the product done, I put everything into the product. I hit enter, and then my brain falls out because I don't have anything left.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's where your producer's supposed to come in, and your publicist is supposed to come in, and I'm all those fucking people.
Right. Exactly.
So, but in order to do that, I started, I went on all these Michael Jordan fan sites, right? I'm going to start talking. And every single Michael Jordan fan site is shitting on LeBron James. That's all they do. It's not about how great Michael Jordan is. It's about, look at how bad Queen LeBronda is. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? This doesn't make any sense. Why are you so threatened? First of all, they play completely different fucking positions. Like, I don't know why people don't. Can you imagine saying, who's your favorite football player? And he'd be like, well, who's the greatest football player? How would you even answer that? Do you mean quarterback? Do you mean running back? Do you mean they're different positions? It matters. So obviously, I like Michael Jordan the most. There's no doubt. I grew up with the guy. I did a whole movie about him. I love Michael Jordan. But are you kidding me? Not knowing how great LeBron James is? Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't understand how people I only crapped on LeBron when I did because of what I perceived was the attitude at the time. That has shifted dramatically in recent years.
Listen, I was really angry with the way he left Cleveland.
Oh, for sure.
Oh God, dude. I was like, dude, you are an MVP, and now you're going to go be Pippen? Yeah. And then guess what happened? He got 4 out of the 5 years of MVPs while on Miami. He got better. And then I had to go, okay, shit, I was wrong. You're so good. You can go on a team with an all-star and still be the MVP. Like LeBron is so good. I don't even want to talk about it because I'm going to embarrass myself with just how good he is, because this is about Michael Jordan, who at the time when I was a kid, he was a sort of celebrity we literally can't have anymore because of the internet. Right. We can't even, like Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Bill Cosby. Those 3 things can't happen anymore.
No.
And it can't happen. It's not possible anymore. In the 80s and 90s, those 3 figures could be godlike. It's gone now because there's so many different avenues to get your media that you can do.
It's funny that you say that, because I grew up, as I said, as a Kings fan. I was a Kings fan before being a Kings fan was a thing here in LA. Like, because we sucked so bad for so long.
Well, before Gretzky?
Way before Gretzky. Yeah.
Right.
Remember, I call myself Kings fan since fetus. Like, my mom went to the games pregnant with me. Like, I was going from then, so I've been around forever. So I watched the 80s that was before Gretzky showed up, right? And then when Gretzky showed up, all of a sudden we're the new pony, we're the show pony, right? So I got to go to Kings games when there were celebrities all over the place. Like, and like you said, that celebrity access does not exist. I swear to God, Adam, there was a game where during the first championship run we had in 92-93, when Gretzky was still rehabbing his back, I'm walking along the freaking walkway there, the Forum, I'm like 9 years old, just walking. Bruce McNally, owner of the Kings, meets up with me, knows me by sight, says, "Come on up and sit with me." I'm sitting in the freaking owner's box, and Wayne comes in to sit with us. I'm going, "What is this life I live? I don't understand what's happening." Wow. Like, you won't have that Staples Center. That will not happen with, if Sidney Crosby comes into LA to play the Kings. That's not happening now. There's no way that's happening. Right. So I understand what you mean about the level of celebrity access.
It's more than, listen, when you had minimal TV channels and you had minimal magazine covers,
especially hockey. Oh God!
Right. Yeah. That's when you could have a celebrity with the pull of the Beatles, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby. I keep bringing up Bill Cosby. I hate to bring up these people that have had some issues, but there is something to be said for that. That they couldn't have had some of those issues without being. I mean, listen, the reason Bill Cosby was able to get away with everything he was able to get away with was that he was freaking the father of America.
Yeah, seriously, he was America's dad, exactly.
Yeah, it was crazy. And you can't explain that to kids now, which is good, by the way.
Yes.
Right. And and it's funny, people are like, "Oh, I won't let my kids listen to Michael Jackson. I won't let my kids watch Bill Cosby." And I'm like, "Oh, no. I make them listen to all that stuff and love him."
Right.
And I make them watch Bill Cosby and love him. Yep. And then in a couple of years, I'm gonna go, guess what? He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
They were bad guys. They just were really good at what they did.
Yeah. The one that surprises people with me and my personal experience with them, there's 2 of them that really make people go, "Wait, what? Really?" Alan Thicke, who was also America's dad. If you watch Growing Pains, world's biggest D-bag I ever met terrible. Right. The other one I've heard more about in recent years than I did before. It was Pat Sajak. Oh God. He is a major Kings fan, a major NHL fan, and I don't begrudge him that, but he more than once when I was your kid's age,
right,
looked at me and talked to me like I had walked into his seating area with shit on my shoe. It's like, dude, Pat, thanks, whatever. So
that's too bad, man.
It is unfortunate that, you know, we hold these people in such high regard, and then we're back down to earth because of what you do or how you act.
Well,
or whatever.
But we got to remember they're doing a job. They're
exactly
just doing a job, and that doesn't mean they're anything more than a guy doing a job.
Right? Know? Yeah. People tend to forget that Bill Cosby is not Dr. Huxtable, or
right.
You know,
I mean,
Alan Thicke is not. You know, Jason Seaver. So
the thing with the whole, boy, we're so off topic right now, but the thing with Cosby,
we're into the weeds here.
So what's incredible is he not only was Dr. Huxtable, he's got the Jello pudding pops.
Jello pudding pops, exactly.
We're talking, he owned that fatherly character so hard that a woman would go to his hotel room to practice lines. Whereas, had he been anybody else, they'd have been like, "Man, go fuck yourself. I'm not coming to your hotel room to practice."
That's creepy. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was a different time, dude. Like, different time.
I was a young kid in the '80s. You were young in the not as young as but still young enough since, like, you know, we hear about the overabundance indulgence of the '80s. You go, no way. Like, oh yeah. So,
you know, I mean, that is the one good thing about social media and the internet. We've splintered all of the likes, right? Like,
oh yes,
if you like any type of movie, you can find it. Any type of TV show, you can find it. It's not like we're all stuck with the big three networks, and, you know, I mean, there's So nobody can get bigger than anybody else, kind of,
which is great. And you know, totally. we come back to Michael, and you know, you documented in the documentary, which again I'll throw it up there really quickly. Let me go and get the graphic.
We should explain
professional about that. There we go. Yeah. So it's called Meeting Michael, and I originally thought it was going to be like a recent thing that you had done, like in the last little while here, and I was for some reason, I know I got it in my head it was a recent thing that you had done where you got to meet Michael and, you know, talk about, you know, whatever, and I was pleasantly surprised at how awesome this was, because, like, dude, he got a press pass at a Cavs game and got access to Jordan. Like, holy shit! Like, it just blows my mind.
How rare. I mean, I know it's funny because The Last Dance came out in between while I was making it, right?
Right.
And clearly The Last Dance is amazing. The access and the footage from The Last Dance is some of the most incredible footage. As a fan, I had no idea existed. If you have one movie to watch, you don't watch mine. You watch Last Dance.
Well, like, I think it was yours, for the record, but yeah.
I'm totally cool with that. I totally understand when I've been beaten. However, what I think The Last Dance lacks is magic, because there's so much access, and there's it starts to become like, yeah, dude, it's very fucking Michael Jordan. Like, what's nice about Meeting Michael is it's through not only my children's eyes, but it's through the eyes of me, who was 19, 20 years old, who looked up to him as a hero. So just the fact that you're looking at him in the locker room, and, you know, little me is picking up and going, oh my God, that's Michael Jordan. Oh, fuck. Like, that kind of magic is what makes the movie work. And then what I end up catching with the fan,
oh man,
that's amazing. I mean, I am very happy I got that, because that's not something you would normally see, and no one's ever seen it before, and it's 25 years old. So I'm very happy about that.
It's a great like a side plot to the overall you got to be Michael Jordan thing, which is freaking bananas in of itself. But
right.
Just I love the trailer, because I watched the trailer before I watched the movie. Which, by the way, thank you for the access to the movie, because I love watching it. I love getting to see everything about it. I am not going to recommend this enough to warrant your being on my show, because it's just so damn good. Let
me say one thing, because I do want to announce this. If anybody's hanging with me that started this 35 minutes and 34 seconds ago, right. I have an announcement about what's going on for this week. Starting tomorrow, we desperately need rates and reviews on Amazon because of the way the algorithms work. Right. And unfortunately, people, because they're honorable, don't necessarily want to leave a review or a rate unless they've watched it, which I thank you. But also they're like, I don't want to spend $3 right now, because streaming has changed how we spend money. Yes. And the unfortunate thing is, if it's free to Prime members, I make like 3 cents when you watch it. However, starting tomorrow throughout the Thanksgiving Day weekend, it's going to be free for Prime members.
Nice.
From Wednesday to Sunday, completely free. And I'm just going to bombard you for 5 days for rates and reviews. And then on Monday, it goes back to the normal. For Christ's sake, it's $3 to rent. I mean, don't act like give me a break, dog. I mean, this is how we live, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, give me $3. But the reason is because we need to get these rates and reviews up to 50 to 100, because what inevitably happens when that happens is it starts getting into people's algorithms. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, if you watch the trailer and you're a Jordan fan, you're going to fucking pay $3 because it's an amazing little story. I'm very proud of it. But I got to get those rates and reviews. So that's what's happening for the next 5-6 days. And I will be announcing that on my Facebook page and some stuff here soon.
Well, like I told you, we'll definitely get this show out to you. And we'll definitely, you can put it on your journey blog.
On the journey. You'll be entry number. Fuck, I don't know.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I went back and I haven't watched the journey yet because there's like about a zillion entries. But like, just go to this page, you guys. It's amazing. This guy got
theofficialjourney.com.
There you go. The official journey.
And I'm right behind. I'm trying to work on October, November. It's been really hard. It's been really difficult. I'm so sorry. I'm enjoying my children and Thanksgiving. And
you should, damn it.
It's funny. I did say enjoying my children, and then I picked up the glass of whiskey. That's not what I was intending to do. But yes, no, we're having a great time. And 2020, I'll be honest, 2020 has been probably one of our best years ever in life.
Because it's a shit show.
Here's the thing. Like, it's funny because I had a gig in December where I had to go to San Francisco, right?
Right.
Real quick, rent the DeLorean story. Had to go to San Francisco. I'm towing the time machine. The car I'm towing the time machine in breaks down.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like...
Let me laugh. I'm sorry.
I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do now? So I got to somehow get the trailer back, try to get my rental back. I had a hitch on my Camry from driving out here 20 years ago. So I somehow finagle getting the time machine off, getting my Camry up, taking the trailer back, bringing it back, getting AAA to take my car away. Then I had to give it to Cars for Kids because that was fucking done. And then I'm stuck with a time machine. I got to be in San Francisco, so I got to drive my time machine to San Francisco, which was the most stressful thing in the world. I had lost my my wallet. I get to the hotel, and they're like, "We can't let you sit in this fucking hotel. What's your?" I'm like, bitch, I don't have. And so I literally in my Gmail Googled license, and I had taken a picture of my license at one point in the past 14 years. And I showed it to her, and she's like, yeah, that's good enough. I'm like, fuck me. That's amazing. So one of the most stressful moments ever. I get to January, Kobe dies, breaks my heart. And I remember turning to my wife going, I am done with Rent the DeLorean. I'm done with this thing always breaking down or things blowing up. I would like to stay home. I just want to be with my kids. But, of course, I have to pay a mortgage. So if I get a gig, I'm going to get it. And then, boom. COVID happens. Me and my kids play Animal Crossing for like 2 straight months. I've had the best time with my children. I'm a little annoyed at Zoom school, but other than that,
right? Oh my goodness,
I love spending time with my family and hanging out. And 2020 has been pretty awesome. I'm ready for the vaccine. I'm ready for 2021. However, we are going to look back on 2020 and be like, this has really been kind of fun, just hanging out. You know,
it's funny. Like I talk with my parents and my brother all the time. It's like my job of podcasting, professional wrestling, is the one job that has not been royally fucked by this whole thing. Because I sit at my desk, I look at my screen, and I talk. That's what I do. Yeah. Like I don't have to go anywhere and do anything.
Right.
So I've had no real issue other than freaking Edison deciding to be asshats about power use and shutting me down. It's like, okay,
power use.
Oh, you don't know.
Actual power.
Like actually SoCal Edison saying we're going to have a potential rolling whatever it is brown.
Well, that's because of the fires, motherfucker. What are they going to do?
Well, I'm in Santa Clarita. What am I supposed to do? Right. So yeah.
Hey, but don't act like it's Edison's problem.
I'm not saying it's Edison's fault. I'm just saying it's just like like I get they have to check power lines and that's fine. But my area, surprisingly enough, considering how much we've been dealing with that shit here the last few years, has not been outwardly affected by the fires. It's just they're just close enough for us and they go, well, we're going to take care of this today. It's like, why today? Why when I have 3 things going on? And it's so I get the yeah.
So, the only difference for me is that there was like 6 months where I had 1 gig a month, and you go from 8 a month to 1 a month. Whoa, that's a problem. And the good news is again, lemonade out of lemons, because I always thought the car was going to blow up. I saved every fucking penny after Fastest DeLorean. Nice. So I had no problem weathering 2020 because I literally thought every time I drove that car, it was going to explode. So any money I made, I'm like, fuck that. That's going in a box because I get this is crazy. So I'm cool.
Let's not glaze over that though, because
Fastest DeLorean, yeah. Which is free to Prime members. Both parts are completely free. Go watch it.
Let me let's get that. Let's go ahead and get that graphic up, shall we? So
he's got pictures.
I got pictures, kids. And of course, and I just love this one because the freaking blue light on the DeLorean.
It's beautiful.
Love that shit. So I'm watching part 1, and literally Friday morning, 3:45 a.m. Holy shit! WTF with the car fire on the freeway. Now I got to watch part 2. LOL. Like I'm like, okay, if you get familiar with California, he's on the 134 passing Disney,
right?
And the car explodes, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was intense.
That's intense shit. Because if people aren't familiar with LA traffic, you think LA traffic is bad. You hear about the 405 and the 101. Dude, the 134 is no joke either. Going through Burbank, Glendale, that's a hell of a mess there. So
what's intense is what's so Hollywood about that story is that I had a fire extinguisher and I used the fire extinguisher and I used all of the fire extinguisher and there was still a fire, which is. As I say in part 2, that's not how it works in the movies. In the movies, it takes out the whole building. But oh fuck, so there was a moment, and it's interesting. It's on film. I just grabbed my phone and I went, well, I guess this is the end of the movie, and I just decided to film the end of my fucking car.
Yeah.
When some dude rolls up with 2 fucking fire extinguishers that he's returning to Home Depot. At that moment, he can't even speak English, which is crazy. I would have had him in the movie. He cannot speak English. Like he can't even fake it. And it's funny. I had him over for a beer, and I wanted so desperately to have him part of this, but he was struggling, dog. Like I would have had to have gotten an interpreter to make this happen. But an angel of all angels, he hands it in for you. And I put the car out, and it ends up that I only cause a couple $1,000 damage to the car, and I'm able to put it back together. But
oh my god,
my god!
Now, see, that's when we need to cross the franchises and have the Star Trek interpreter come to the Back to the Future car and so you can talk to the guy. That would have been perfect. Oh my god, that's crazy. I can't even.
It's good. And again, as I've said for years now, I love the 2 movies, Fastest DeLorean 1 and 2. I just wish I wasn't in them. Like. That's the problem, is that you end up making a piece of art, basically, that I'm very proud of, but I can't watch it again. No. It fucking rips my heart out. The shit that happens is so intense. It's great for you at home, but I am ready to move the fuck on, dude. Like,
which is why we've got Meeting Michael.
That's where Meeting Michael. And the nice thing about Meeting Michael is it's such an obvious, like, good feeling story. It's the best 2020 movie you could possibly watch because you just feel good at the end of it and you feel good during it. And thank God my kids kind of knocked it out. Like I had a plan B for what I was going to do if they weren't good. Right. I didn't want to tell them this, but like, I'm not going to put my kids in something that make them look fucking stupid. And I'm certainly not going to be that guy that drags my kids into. I'm not that guy. If you're bad, you're you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember as we were approaching the first shooting day, I told my wife, I'm like, I'm really nervous that they're not going to be able to do this, and I'm going to cut them the fuck out, and maybe we'll hide it from them and make a different cut of it. And after the first hour we shot, I was concerned, and I stopped everything, and I loaded all the footage, and I started editing. And I said, listen, before we keep going, I got to make sure this works. And I got to say, I was surprised. Like, my little boy kind of has that, you believe him. I mean, it was the truth, but he has a naturalness that you can tell he's not acting.
Right.
And that was really nerve-wracking to me, because I hate child actors with a fucking passion. Like, I want them to die, all of them. Right. But no, he was just very natural, and it works, and thank God, because I would have had to cut my own children out of a movie, and it had to made me the worst fucking dad on the planet.
I was very blessed when I introduced my son to the first wrestling thing I ever watched, and this is it's just 30 years old. Because when we're kids, when Hulk Hogan was the guy and the Warrior was champion, like it was crap. It was absolute crap, right? But when you're 7 years old, it's the best thing you ever seen in your life. So he's sitting in my chair here, I'm sitting at my desk here. We got the thing on, and he's just staring at it like, wow. Okay, like you can see in his eyes, he's like, God, this is so bad, but I'm just gonna get through it for him because he wants me to do it. Like, my son's 12, so like he's like, I'm doing it for him. I'm gonna do it for Dad. And then he didn't even blink. The show ended. He got up, went right back in his room, turned the Xbox. I'm like, wow, that was a moment. That was some shit.
It's funny because like, so I showed the whole family. I showed Meeting Michael when I was done, and of course my kid was bored out of his fucking mind at the basketball stuff. He's like, when do I come back on? Because this is awful. I was like, yeah, I know, dog. Like, I'm like, it's not called Meeting Cameron, motherfucker. It's called Meeting Michael. Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, see, my son watched our episode once, because what I had was I had this set up like what we have right here on the screen now, but the wrestling was like right above above the two screens, so you could see the whole thing. He's like, so he watched himself, which is fine, but you can see even during the thing, he's like, guys, wrestling figures, he's just gonna play in here. He's just not even. I'm like, oh man, this is. If it was any other show, I wouldn't even bother.
I think the one thing that helped is they did see Space Jam, so they thought that was kind of cool. But the irony that he thought Michael Jordan was Luther the Anger Translator is so fucking embarrassing. Like, my God, I was, I'm trying to like set up this bullshit like he's a fan of basketball, and he's like, that's Luther the Anger Translator. I'm like, shit.
There goes first 5 minutes. We're fucked. Very good. Move right on.
And what's funny is that I showed him Luther the Anger Translator when he was so young. He should never have watched it, and it's so embarrassing to me. They thought. At 3 years old, he thought Luther freaking out about Trump was the funniest thing he'd ever seen at 3. And of course, it's fuck. Right. But he caught me seeing it. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, watch it. And they laughed till they pissed themselves. Right. And so now he knows who Luther the Anger. If Key and Peele, if they walked into our backyard, that would mean so much more to them than Michael Jordan. Like, it's not even, there's not even a close second. They would lose their shit if they met them.
That's fantastic. Jesus. Yeah, I just love that you grew up in the area you grew up in and became a Bulls fan when Michael was the guy, because I remember going to a game, and I actually had the set in front of me. This is in November 92 when he was just starting to really cook with gas, right? They came out here and played Lakers at the Forum.
Right.
Jordan ran 54 points up on our asses. It's like, but as a Jordan fan, you're like, all right, cool, I like that. Because I mean, God, the freaking Lakers had Worthy still, Vlade Divac, AC Green, and all these guys. Just like, he shouldn't be able to do it, but he's Michael Jordan, so of course he's gonna do it. So,
Jordan. It's one of those things. It's hard to explain to people just how well he could capture the day. I don't know how to else to explain it, because he'd miss shots or whatever, but boy, the aura in the room, in the arena, in the game. It wouldn't even matter if he wasn't in the game. You know what the story was? Michael Jordan isn't in the game. What's going to happen when he gets back into the game? Like, he owned every second of the game. And again, part of that has to do with what we were talking about of what celebrities were in the 80s and 90s, as opposed to now. He was bigger than life. You know, I want to be like Mike, the Gatorade shit, the McDonald's commercials. Like, he was just everywhere. And I also have to say he was a shooting guard, right? So his thing was scoring, which is what everybody likes anyway. Like, we just value scoring more than we value assists, more than we value rebounds. So he was the perfect person at the perfect time. And, oh, my goodness, could there have been anybody bigger than Michael Jordan? You know?
And to the credit of the Chicago GM, I think you mentioned him in the documentary briefly, who everybody just loved him so much.
When he yelled at me, yeah.
But when he came back in '95, you had him doing the scoring, you had Scotty scoring and assisting, and you had Rodman bringing the ball down for rebounds. It's a perfect storm in Chicago, for crying out loud.
I do. Yeah, it was so unfair. Like, it was Kevin Durant on the Golden State Warriors level unfair. That's how unfair it was.
Right.
Because they were already a championship contender. When they signed Rodman, I remember going, oh my God. Yeah. You're telling me you're talking about a guy who literally only wants to rebound the ball 20 times a game and then hand it to somebody he doesn't want to score? Get the fuck out of there. They're going to win 70. They're just going to win 70. We said it that day, and then they did. Like, they were so good. That's the best team. It's either them or the 86 Lakers, or I'm sorry, 86 Celtics. I don't think there's been two better teams on the planet. I know that hurts as a Lakers fan, but those two teams, no one was, I'm still a little pissed that they lost 2 games to the Seattle Supersonics in the finals, because they could have gone undefeated in the playoffs. That's how good they were. They could have been undefeated in the playoffs. Yeah. And they lost those 2 in the finals.
And Rodman's only, downfall during that last run was the fact he couldn't stay out of the wrestling ring and stop playing with Hogan long enough to get his shit together. So,
that's what's so wonderful about The Last Dance, which is, exactly what his downfall was.
Yeah.
It was whiskey and women. Like, that was all it was, dude. He just wanted to be fucking Dennis, man. He wanted to bang Carmen Electra and drink and have fun. He he was one of those people that didn't care as much about the basketball thing as we wished he had.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Kobe took Jordan's talent and drive and took it to a different level.
He really did.
He really did. Like, Jordan. Let's be honest, Jordan, when the pressure got bad with the gambling and all his other extracurricular activities, he quit.
He did. Yeah.
When they weren't going to hire his favorite coach, he quit.
Yep.
Kobe, dude, that fucker, he worked and worked and worked and worked and was, I mean, when I met him, and I mentioned this in the documentary, I met him at a Starbucks at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. He's getting his coffee, and he's running out of there because he's got to go work out and rehab his injury to get back. I mean, he was nuts about giving everything, and LeBron has it too. And I hate to say this because I love Jordan so much, but God damn it, LeBron and Kobe's work ethic and what they do to their body. LeBron at 36 in his 18th season, what the fuck is that dude drinking? Is he drinking the blood of a child from, like, oh my God, how is he as good as he is?
What is in that man's Gatorade? Seriously.
Dude, I mean, I love Jordan to death, but there was no fucking way he was doing what LeBron and Kobe were doing.
And to Kobe's credit, the one chink that appeared in that man's armor with the whole affair thing, he rolled right off his back and went, okay, I did it. My bad. His wife was like, okay, he did it. Or his bad. Yeah. Off they went. Didn't even blink.
Well, I mean, it was, to be fair, it had nothing, it didn't hamper his basketball.
It didn't. Right.
But it was stupid. It was naive.
Yes.
It was a lot of things. But it
wasn't game hampering. That's the key. So,
and also I gotta hand it LeBron, dude. Guy's been with the same girl for how many years? You've never heard shit about him ever being anything but perfect. I mean, he's the Jackie Robinson of basketball. He's just on the point, perfect about everything. And then the fucking, I mean, I don't know how everybody's politics are, but the fact that he's taking stands and sticking up for Black lives and he's doing shit that, I mean, he took Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Muhammad Ali, put them all into one and said, boom, here I am.
Yeah.
And it's, So I'm doing the worst promotion for Meeting Michael ever. Because diehard Meeting Michael fans hate LeBron James.
Yeah,
but I gotta hand it to he's just great, you know. And
he took Michael's number. They're on different teams, dude. Slow your rolls. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's okay, guys.
I've had to deal with all the arguments about
I'm sure.
Jordan versus LeBron, and I'm like, God damn it! At no point would Jordan have been able to go to a lottery team and the next year take them to the finals. And the reason, in defense of Jordan, was he was a shooting guard. He had to rely on a good system because he's a shooting guard. LeBron is the system. He'll play every fucking role. It's bizarre how good that dude is. He's completely redefined what we thought a basketball player was. So
he is a utility player in a game that you don't really supposed to have utility players. You're supposed to have people in certain roles, and he just does it anyway.
If he needs to score, he scores. If he needs to assist, he assists. If he needs rebound, he gets rebounds. If he needs to like step back and chill for a little bit, if they need him to be defensive and get a block, he gets a block. It's the weirdest. He's the Swiss Army knife of basketball, and I don't know how we'll ever see anybody like him.
If they need a guy to be out there and be the ambassador for the game, he's that guy.
So
scary because he's
that Michael Jordan. I feel like I really gotta make sure people realize I adore Jordan, and he's clearly my favorite player of all time. Yes. But I'm so tired of the comparisons, and that's how I ended the documentary. Obviously, like, we got to stop with these comparisons and just enjoy greatness while we have it.
Yes, and there is a moment, and there's a thread throughout the whole movie that is just so endearing to me as a parent and as a collector and as a huge sports fan that when you see the moment at the end, you go, so.
Oh, you mean the end moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm telling you, guys,
on that because that is a big moment.
But please.
By the way, just so between you and me, that wasn't written. So,
well, there you go,
dude. That was completely organic. So I'm literally trying not to give it away, but I'm bringing it out, and I loosely told the kids what was happening, but they didn't know why it was happening. Mm-hmm. I bring it out, and my daughter literally looked at me and said, why the fuck do you own shoes if you're not going to wear shoes? Like, I mean, she didn't say that, obviously, but
she said on the movie, she's like, why do you own these if you're not going to wear them? It's like,
right. Because you see me legitimately not acting, stumbling over my lines going, that's a good point. Look, can we I just say, can we get back to the movie? That's all completely organic. And I was never going to do what I did at the end of that fucking movie because I did literally take the value of those shoes down.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm watching it unfold. I watch this shot go and I go,
But here's the truth. And I found this out about all of my quote unquote collectibles. I'm never selling these motherfuckers.
No way.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
I have to ask you, since we're bringing up the shoes, the Nikes from Back to the Future, are those the ones in the movie that you have?
No. Those are the 2011 auction ones that they only made so many of. They're worth a ton of money.
Oh yeah,
they're worth a fortune. They're not worth what the screen used ones were. Those are in a goddamn museum somewhere.
They should be, right?
But but what I was telling the kids was that I have a pair of like the $80 ones you get from Hollywood Costumes that you throw in the time machine that kids can wear at photo shoots.
Right.
No, but those are the real ones that Nike released, in 2011. So that's the difference between those.
Yeah, because also those I do. No lie, a little drool right here, just like. Whoa.
Well, I mean, it's funny. I'm not a collector of shoes whatsoever, but the Air Jordan 11 Concords and those Nike mags are some of the most sought after shoes.
Yeah, it's so funny. When I first reached out to you and figured out how close you were, okay, I got to get in this guy's car at some point. Now I'm like, I got to get in this guy's house. I got to see this shit for real.
Now I'm not letting you in my house. Clearly, it seems like a bad idea. But when COVID's over, we're totally going to have a golf comp party where everybody can come and drink and have fun. This COVID's got to be done, dude. Like we got to get through this. But I have a feeling next fall we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, because what's this? Like you said, I mentioned the red line. It's like, I don't know where in NoHo you are. I don't want you to tell me here. Obviously, it's like if this damn thing lifts, I'm a train, maybe another bus, and I'm there.
Well,
like,
it's a train and an Uber. I mean, for Christ's sake, I have to use Uber.
Well, yeah, okay, fine, Uber, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what? Yeah,
I mean,
it's $10 and you hit a button on your phone. Fuck out of here! What? Jesus Christ, dude! Like, I get that you're on the spectrum driving, motherfucker, but you can at least let somebody drive you, right? What the fuck?
Okay, fine. Okay,
good
fine.
Lord.
I'll take an Uber to your place. Fine, we'll do that. So we will get out there next fall for sure. But in the meantime, you guys take advantage of this Thanksgiving thing, because this is not a joke. Like, Adam is like, we need to get the promotion out. We need to get this movie seen, the algorithm to change on Amazon, because it's damn good. It's worth. Not only is it worth the free thing this week, but it's worth the measly freaking $3. You crazy.
And also, I know it's a pain in the ass, and sometimes you have to go on your computer to leave reviews on Amazon, and the system is so awful. I'm so frustrated with how hard they make it to review these things. That being said, if you do, it helps me way more than even the $2.99, because the way this works is if it. Once it starts to hit, this happened actually with Fastest Delorean. I was in France at a screening, and when I got on the plane, I looked at my my numbers for Fastest Delorean 1, and something happened, and all of a sudden, 24,000 people had watched it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened? And I didn't, and suddenly there's this massive peak, and what happens is once it's like a exponential domino effect. And it all comes from reviews and rates and you passing it around. And then once you do just a little bit, like 50 to 100 reviews, suddenly Amazon takes over. And then they go, oh, I guess this is something here. And they just go, oh, let's do this. And then boom. Yeah. So I have not been doing that. So for this Thanksgiving Day weekend, I'm just going to push it and try to get people to help me out. And then I'll never bother you about it again.
Well, I will, because
I want to do next year.
Yeah, because I'm gonna make this part of my yearly routine every year. I watch documentary, because I definitely was gonna add Fastest Delorean to my Back to the Future stuff every October and every July, but now I'm definitely gonna add Meeting Michael. Period, because I like when you see Rent the Delorean, or you don't think of a filmmaker behind this stuff. It's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy, he actually, like, it's a really good shit we're watching here. I appreciated the art behind it. I appreciated the stories, especially in Meeting Michael, because, like I said, I went into it thinking it was a recent thing, and you just kind of like, oh, it's a convention type thing. But no, but this is like grainy freaking video footage. It's like you got a press pass, and it's a whole big story. It's like, this is incredible. I love this.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about the way people are finding me through the DeLorean is that what a lot of people assume, oh, you own a DeLorean, that is your life. Clearly, you must have all of your ego and life in the DeLorean. And the truth is, it's just this tiny little chapter of something that happened to me. Yep. And the journey and all the craziness of that's my life. It just happened to latch onto a DeLorean, which is way popular than me. So then I become dragged on, and then and I think, again, that's why I maintain a friendship with Don and whatnot, is because we aren't defined by the DeLorean or Mayor Goldie Wilson. I don't sit around and talk to Don and be like, what was it like on the set? We talk about the shit that we get along with, so it is nice to see people finally realizing, oh shit, this was a guy that happened to have, he's actually a filmmaker. He's actually all these things. I've been doing this for decades. Yes. So I'm excited about that. I can't even express to you how excited I am to not be the Fastest DeLorean guy anymore, because
I'm sorry I went up to the bait tonight, but it's just so.
But it's so. It's fine if I hook you in with that bait, but oh my god, if I gotta talk about Kenny another fucking day, like, it's killing me, dude. Like, I feel you. It is the most heartbreaking story to this day. It's still heartbreaking. It's funny. My father and I, we talk often. We have VR headsets, and we go fishing together. So it's been a fun year.
Oh, that's kick ass! I love that.
I have not mentioned Kenny in years because I can't do it. Like, I can't do it, and I don't think my dad can do it either. So we kind of it's a
There's
thing.
An unspoken thing there. Yeah.
I listen. I wish nothing but the best for Kenny. Because there is talent there, but unfortunately, I think one of the greatest strengths of a mechanic is honesty, like
reliability.
liability, accountability. Like like, I'll take my car to an honest mechanic that is not as talented every day of the fucking week.
Yep.
Give me the truth. Tell me what's going on.
Yep.
But the second you lie and try to cover up your mistakes, you're worthless. You're literally worthless.
I loved your message at the end of part 1. You didn't apologize. You simply said, I wish you'd made better choices. I thought that was so... I was like, dude, seriously, that more than the damn car being on fire as the screen faded, I was... Fuck me. Like, oh, jeez. Yeah. Because it's true. Like, you do feel bad, but you don't feel bad. You don't apologize for what you said because you weren't in the wrong. So
what could I have fucking done? I always go back. What could I have? The only thing I could have done was not release it.
Right.
And I didn't release it for a long time.
I know.
And it really was when I mentioned that to Don, I would happen upon the footage of the car not starting at the starting line of the first drag race. Right. And I'd watch that and I'd go, God, that's such an amazing organic piece of storytelling you couldn't script. I can't believe it happened, and it's hidden because I'm trying to save. And it ate at me. I'm like, oh, people have got to see this. Is there a way I can do this? You know, and I try it. Then I'm like, listen, he did build this, and I did everything I could. But by part 2, he's completely buried. I mean, there's nothing to do with that, man. There's no way around it, dog. If you don't come out and talk, you're buried. Right. And I just, it's tough. It always sucks, but. Meeting Michael 2020.
So is there a website for Meeting Michael, or is it just straight through Amazon at this point?
Oh yeah, just go to bit.ly/Meeting Michael, or just type Meeting Michael in Amazon.
You'll find it. It'll be there.
Yep. Yeah, you'll find it. And again, starting tomorrow, Wednesday is the 25th. Yep, it'll be free to Prime members from Wednesday till Sunday, and then that's it.
Now make sure, because there are several Meeting Michaels on Amazon. I did this the hard way. It was a pain in the ass until I got the link, which I appreciate the link again, by the way. Thank you.
There's several Meeting Michaels.
Yeah, there were several things called Meeting Michael on Amazon, Michael. So I had to actually type in your name to get the damn thing to pop up, which chat my ass.
We're finding out something very, very different here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I go to Amazon.com. I type in Meeting Michael.
Well, I'm sure if you do it, you'll pop up yours because it's you doing it. So
I mean, is that true? Yeah. Meeting Michael. Oh dear. Okay, that's Amazon. That's Prime Video. So let's just go to Amazon regular.
Yeah. That's where I went with Amazon regular, which was my mistake there. So if you go to Prime Video, you're gold. So,
dude, I see Michael Bublé. I got a long story, Bublé. He's the nicest fucking guy in the world, and actually,
he really is.
How nice he is. But I don't see anything for Meeting Michael. What the fuck are you seeing?
Hang on a second. Wait, let me see here.
There's literally nothing but me. Meeting Michael, starring Michael Jordan and Adam Kontras. That's the coolest fucking thing in the world, dude.
Isn't that great?
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Okay. Now that that's because when I did this last night before I got the link from you, a few things came up that wasn't you. I was like, what the? Now, of course, it's not coming up. Now that I'm on the air and live and saying shit, it doesn't come up.
Yeah. So. I was like, trust me, I did a lot of research before I named the movie to make sure it was something that wasn't existing. There were no Meeting. I see nothing even remotely Meeting Michael. Guided meditation for meeting your future.
Then I'm full of shit on my own show, and that's okay. And that's fine. But so Meeting Michael on Amazon Prime Video, Amazon.com, however you want to find it, check it out. Again, it is free starting tomorrow. Is this at midnight tonight, or how that?
I don't know. I told my distributor, they were like, okay, and so just don't pay the $2.99 or whatever the fuck it is. You cheap.
God forbid you give people the $3.
Free. I swear to God, asking for. I mean, I'm the same way, by the way. Like, we pay all this money for streaming services, so we better get our fucking movies for free. What, I'm gonna spend another $2.99? Fuck you! I'll wait for it to be free. I'm the same way. I get it. The problem is, Amazon changed all of how they pay filmmakers.
Yeah.
Starting this year, and like I could make a little bit of money off Fastest Delorean. Now I can't make anything when it's free on Meeting Michael. So, part of me doesn't really give a fuck. I make my money through other things. I really just want people to enjoy it and feel, the holiday spirit.
Right.
There is a part of me, especially with Meeting Michael, where I just want you to enjoy it because it's hard to not watch that movie and not remember. I think the biggest thing I can say is you will remember what it was like to believe in anything when you were a little kid. It doesn't matter if your hero was Superman, but we start to lose that magic of being a kid and how we looked up to our heroes. And meeting Michael is 100% heart. Like, it's about how that felt. And yes, The Last Dance is clearly the better documentary when it comes to documenting, but it is missing the magic of him being a hero. It just makes him a normal person. This is Jordan being, holy Christ, bigger than life. And boy, I hope he sees it. Boy, I hope he isn't mad at me for asking for that autograph when I shouldn't have asked for that autograph. I really wish I would love to get a note from him, but we'll see. Time will tell.
It is so funny that you say that, and people know my story as far as asking for autographs when I'm trying to work at wrestling. It's like it's not an uncommon thing, but I get the fear. Like, I get the oh, I'm gonna lose my job. Oh shit. So I get it.
Ever since that, it's never happened again because there was nobody even close to that when you're 19 or 20 or I mean, I was in almost a delayed transition to an adult with him, right? Yeah, I might have technically just turned 20. I might as well have been 10. You walk into that room and he's there.
Well, it's like with me. I was 2013. I was 26 when I finally met Hulk Hogan after being a fan since I was 7.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter that I, paid for the book. It doesn't matter that I paid the freaking, $25 for the front of the line pass at the Barnes and Noble store. It doesn't matter that I, rode the freaking rails all day to get my ass down there at the crack of dawn. When he got to that table and I walked up to that table with my book in my hand and my hand out, I was 7 years old and I'm shaking. You can see in the film, in the picture, my hand is wobbly. Because I'm a freaking mess inside. Because it's Hulk fucking Hogan. And so I get it. Dude. I totally get it.
And one of the stories I couldn't tell because I don't really have footage of it. When I walked into that locker room, it was me, Quinn Buckner, and Jim Gray was the other interviewer.
Oh my God, okay. That's fantastic.
And if you go back and watch Meeting Michael, Jim Gray is going like this in the video because I'm taping.
Yeah,
he knew I was an asshole. And I still kind of feel bad about that. But so when I walk in initially, I sat there. There were 4 people in the room. I was one of them. Jordan was the other one. And Quinn Buckner and Jim Gray. And we sat for 45 minutes talking about stuff. And I was interjecting as if I should interject.
Right.
Which was the weirdest feeling. I remember talking about the Cleveland Browns that just moved to Baltimore. And that was happening. And I remember Jordan was saying, well, I mean, listen, they didn't give the guy an arena. They built this, and then they built, what was that one thing? And I said, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he pointed to me and went, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I remember thinking in my head, oh, Jesus Christ, I just helped Jordan in a conversation. And then there were a couple of times when I interrupted him. I remember he was really big into Glenn Robinson, right? Because Glenn Robinson was about to sign with his fucking shoe deal. And I remember interrupting him while he was talking about Robinson, who was on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the time. I said, but Vin Baker actually has better numbers. And he turned to me and he stared me down. And I was like, oh, fuck. What am I doing? Who am I? But yeah, I mean, there are all these weird little memories of what it's like to be in that moment. And I'm glad I got to capture it in the movie, at least document how that felt.
What I love about your documentary about Michael is you always hear, no matter what line of work you're in or what you do for your living or whatever, never meet your heroes because they'll never live up to the expectations. Right. Dude, everything I've ever seen of Michael Jordan, that's complete horseshit. He is that guy. He is the guy that you like. He is the guy that you idolized as a kid. He's still that person. And I love that about your story that you see. There was
a decency and a kindness, and you can even see it in that one part where he's like, man, you shouldn't be asking for this autograph, dog. Well, he gave that guy an autograph. Right. And he gave me, he was able to balance. Right. Like he knew what I was doing was wrong and literally could have lost my job for it. But he also knew it must have meant something to me if I was willing to lose my stripes for this. And he was very kind. Now, he's also wildly arrogant as I've heard since, right? But what the fuck is arrogant when you're Michael Jordan? I mean, of course he's arrogant. He's Michael Jordan. So it's not unbalanced arrogance. It's not like he's Smush Parker, right? Like it is equivalent to his standing in the world. So I think a lot of people say that just as like a hater, but I can't say literally nothing negative about Jordan at all. He was awesome.
No, that's gratifying because I've had the opportunity to meet some of my heroes in sports, and it's for the most part it's been good. There have been a few hiccups, but I love seeing a movie that not only documents your time meeting him, but watching your kids experience that with you. Like I said, my son was like, man, whatever about the wrestling thing I watched. Your kids got all up in that.
Well, and the funny thing about my kids is that this as a parent, you're trying to teach your parents what right and wrong is, right? Or I'm sorry, you're trying to teach your children what right and wrong is.
Your parents do sometimes,
Right? And so literally my kids are pointing out every fucking time what I did was wrong and asking me like when my kid asks me, why do you have his towel? And I have no answer for that.
No. What's great about that is your reaction. You're flipping. You're like, don't touch the towel. Don't touch the towel.
But my kid, again, nobody is as famous as Michael Jordan is. Like I tell a middle-aged man that I have Michael Jordan's towel from a game. He's like, "Can I see it?"
Right?
Here's it. Oh my fucking God! You tell that to a kid, they're like, "Why did you want that? What the fuck's wrong with you?" And that is very funny. Like, there's no way to ignore the fact that it was insane that I took his towel. If you really think about it, without the magic of hero worship, you took his towel. What the fuck is wrong? It's kind of gross. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, it's weird. I got nothing for you, kid.
It's 25. It's kind of stink, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It's Michael Jordan's towel. Right.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So please, everybody, go to Amazon.com. Type in Mighty Michael. It's the only one there, apparently, because I'm an idiot. So go ahead and tap it in there. And it's free starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Until Sunday, Sunday the 20, whatever, 9th or whatever. 29th, and then Monday morning goes back to being $3. But even if it's Monday and you see this, motherfucker's $3.
It's $2.99, folks. Seriously,
or $4. God damn it! Really? Like Jesus. It's never 14 footage. So
it's great footage. It's a great story. There's a great B story, as you mentioned, with the guy, the fan. So it's all quality stuff. Can't recommend it enough. Check it out on Amazon this weekend, and on Amazon, of course, as we mentioned, Fastest Delorean. I know that's on there too. If you're a Back to the Future fan, if you're not a Back to the Future fan, you will be a Back to the Future fan after this.
And yeah, all of these movies were edited assuming people don't like basketball, don't like cars, don't like DeLoreans. My goal was make it entertaining for everybody. So, some of the best reviews I have on Fastest DeLorean was, I can't stand any of this shit, but boy, did I watch this fucking movie. Oh my God.
Because your story has nothing to do with it. The fact it's DeLorean.
The draws of both Meeting Michael and of Fastest DeLorean really don't have to do with the subject matter as much as telling a story,
which is what makes a good filmmaker. And I think
you're a quality
filmmaker, man. I really appreciate what you did with this, and I can't recommend either set of movies enough. Please check them out on Amazon this weekend, guys. They're free, for fuck's sake, guys. Come on. So, check them out. He's Adam Kontras. I am Jeff Meach'S. We will see you tomorrow here on the Jeff Meach'S Network with The Greg Cherry Show. He's preparing for his trivia finale. God help him. We'll see you next time right here on the Jeff Meach'S Network.